This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian.
Good morning. The country again on high alert for bush and brush fires. Police say the recent murders of two teens sparked by a high school feud. And former cabinet minister Loftus Roker, dead at 88. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be here, filling in for Duquesne Dean. Also this morning, we are going to be talking with the Zonda Club of Nassau about their upcoming Fun, Run, Push, Walk, and a whole lot more. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international this morning. In the overnight, a feud which began in high school escalated with the murders of two teenagers who were shot in separate incidents over the weekend. That's the latest from police. Chief Superintendent Kristen Skippings doing this yesterday. The first murder, as we told you yesterday, took place on Friday night when an 18-year-old man was shot at a basketball court near a school on Wolf Road. Skippings said the victim was with three other males, another minor, and two adults, when three hooded males, who were all teenagers, approached, and there was a confrontation. One of the males produced a weapon and shot the 18-year-old. The incident was sparked by a high school conflict. Then there was the other shooting involving a 15-year-old who was asleep at a residence off Wolf Road, who was shot around 3:15 on Saturday morning. Skipping saying that the 15-year-old victim had also been on the basketball court on Friday when the first victim was shot. An 18-year-old man is in custody in connection with the murder of the 15-year-old who was killed at home, while a 15-year-old boy and 16-year-old boy are in custody in connection with the basketball court shooting. Skipping says the 15-year-old and 16-year-old suspects have claimed to be gang members. Evan Fox, whose decomposing body was found in bushes off Frank Watson Boulevard in southwest New Providence last month, died by. That's according again to Chief Superintendent Skippings. She says their investigation has determined that the injuries were self-inflicted. Police are also investigating two separate suicide attempts that took place in New Providence yesterday. The first, a 32-year-old woman attempted to jump from the Sidney Poitier Bridge while holding her 2-year-old daughter. Police say courageous pedestrians intervened and stopped her from jumping until police arrived. The woman and her child were taken to the hospital, and treated and received medical evaluation. The second incident involved a 15-year-old boy who police discovered at a Raymond Road residence with multiple lacerations about the body, believed to be self-inflicted. The boy was also taken to the hospital. Police say investigations are ongoing into both incidents. Residents in North Eleuthera still without power last night after major system failure at the Hatchet Bay Power Station from Sunday. BPL saying that the company's estimated time for restoration, but that their team has made significant progress and is working on synchronization to regulate electricity coming out of the Hatchet Bay Power Station. BPL said the system failure caused an island-wide power outage on Eleuthera, but noted that the power was eventually restored to residents in South Eleuthera. As forest fires continue to blaze in central Abaco, the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness, Management and Reconstruction says that preparations underway to send officers and equipment to the island to support efforts to control the fire. It says a team conducted aerial reconnaissance of the impacted areas and redirected local fire assets to areas that needed immediate assistance. Exacerbated by this long spell of dry weather, central Abaco has been battling wildfires for weeks now, with some residential communities threatened by the flames. Several volunteer fire agencies on the island have been working to keep the blaze under control. The trial of former Water and Sewage Corporation Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson and 4 others day after the court received medical certificates stating that Gibson was unwell. Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson said that she had been given 2 medical certificates, one from an unnamed eye doctor, and F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands. As a result, the matter was adjourned. Prosecutors opening their case against 3 men accused of robbing a man following a traffic accident. Prosecutors allege that Richard Spence, Levio Brannon, and Deontay Ferguson, while armed with a knife, robbed Luda Petit Frere of cash and other items with a combined value of $3,470. This is back on August 27, 2019. The men face the alternative charge of receiving the stolen property. According to police, Petit Frere was driving on Ackland Street in the Grove when he accidentally ran into the back of a car occupied by 3 men. One of the men allegedly pulled a knife on Petit Frere, took him to his home on nearby Newbold Street, and took his property. The defendants have denied the allegations at their trial before Justice Renee McKay. And A. Loftus Roker, one of the heroes of the progressive movement in the Bahamas and a signatory to the Constitution, died on Monday at Doctors Hospital in Nassau. Roker, who was born on October 25, 1935 in Acklands, is being remembered as a no-nonsense, principled, uncompromising Acklands Islander whose work as Minister of National Security and Immigration during the Pindling administration stands out prominently in the minds of many Bahamians. His nephew, Dwayne Roker, said he was admitted to hospital last Wednesday after he had some shortness of breath and was expected to be discharged within the next couple of days. So his death came as a surprise. In a statement, Prime Minister Philip Davis remembered Roker as a distinguished statesman and an advocate for justice and security. A. Loftus Roker was 88. Overseas, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says that the American military aid on its way to Ukraine will make a real difference on the battlefield, as a top diplomat made an unannounced visit to reassure an ally facing a fierce new Russian offensive. In increasingly intense attacks along the northeastern border in recent days, Moscow's troops have captured around 40 to 50 square miles of territory that includes at least 7 villages, according to open-source monitoring analysts. Though most of those villages were already depopulated, thousands of civilians in the area have fled the fighting. Analysts have called this moment one of the most dangerous for Ukraine since Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022, and President Volodymyr Zelensky asked today for more air defense systems to protect civilians under Russian fire in the northeast. Russian President Vladimir Putin will make a 2-day state visit to China this week. That's according to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. It's the latest show of unity between the two authoritarian allies against the U.S.-led Western liberal global order. Putin will meet Chinese leader Xi Jinping during his visit starting Thursday. The Foreign Ministry says the two leaders will discuss, quote, cooperation in various fields of bilateral relations, as well as international and regional issues of common concern. No other details provided. And more rain started coming down Saturday in Brazil's already flooded Rio Grande do Sul state, where many of those remaining are poor people with limited ability to move to less dangerous areas. Nearly 6 inches of rain could fall and has fallen over the weekend and will probably worsen flooding, according to Brazil's National Meteorology Institute. It says there's a likelihood that winds will intensify, water levels will rise in the surrounding areas. In sports, the Bombs list for the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris continues to grow as it expanded by 2 members over the weekend. Wanya McCoy qualified in the men's 200 meters. And Anisha Cartwright became the 3rd BAME to qualify in the women's 100-meter hurdles. We told you that yesterday. The first time the country's ever had 3 athletes qualify for any global event in the hurdles. Cartwright led a quartet of runners from the Minnesota State University to the finish line at the women's 100-meter hurdles at the 2024 Northern Sun Inter Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, Jason Tatum's 33 points helping the Boston Celtics shut down the shorthanded Cleveland Cavaliers 109-102 last night. They've taken a 3-1 lead in their Eastern Conference semifinal. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring 34 points, helping the Oklahoma City Thunder overcome the Dallas Mavericks to even the series 2 apiece in their conference semifinals to score 100-96 Monday night. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Nay's Pancake Place. High pressure ridge extending across the islands, and that continues to promote dry and hot weather, along with the fresh to moderate breezes. A trough over central Florida actually will enhance cloudiness and produce a few isolated showers over the extreme northwestern islands through tonight. So we've got a number of warnings. We've got very high UV indices anticipated across all areas, and so the public is being advised to limit excessive outdoor activity, especially during peak sunshine hours, and wear protective garments or sunscreen, and remain hydrated. And with the chance of any significant rainfall remaining very low, along with a slight uptick in the winds, conditions will remain elevated and quite conducive for the development of bush and brush fires as we've been seeing across the country. For all areas today, partly cloudy, hot and breezy with a few isolated showers, mainly in the extreme northwestern islands, mostly sunny, hot and breezy, becoming fair and breezy tonight in the central and southeastern islands. Smallcraft cautions in effect for boaters. Wind south to 20 knots in the northwest Bahamas, east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots in the central and southeastern islands. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Currently in Nassau, it is already about 81 degrees, folks. We're looking at highs getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like it's 99 Fahrenheit, 37 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. This first look at weather brought to you by Nay's Pancake Place in Grand Bahama. Nay's Pancake Place is back and ready to serve you. Visit us at our new takeout location, Chicken Shack, Fairfield East, Settlers Way, behind Sunshine Laundromat near the fire station. Indulge in some of your favorite dishes and try some of the new menu items, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Call them at 351-5456 to place your order. You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
The signs are clear. It's time to pay less for your current mortgage by switching to Scotiabank. Enjoy lower interest rates and no payments up to 2 months when you switch to Scotiabank today. Plus, we'll even pay your switch costs. It's that easy to Scotiabank. Call us today at 242-356-1697 or visit bs.scotiabank.com to switch your mortgage to become mortgage-free faster.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Looking to elevate your gadget, probably slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's still. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, we've got Laverne Gardner on this Tuesday morning, filling in for Duquesne Dean. DeQuest a little under the weather. Hopefully she'll feel better soon. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. It's a pleasure to be here at the Questa, sending you good vibes and praying that you make a full recovery.
Absolutely, absolutely. How's it going up there in Grand Bahama? As hot as it is here in Nassau?
Hot.
Oh,
It's
boy.
hot.
It's crazy. It is crazy. And we've got...
That's how it's going. It's hot, Dwight.
Yeah. And it's just early May, well, almost mid-May.
Honestly.
So
And even when we get a breeze, it's still hot.
it's blowing hot air at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very scary. We've got the bushfires all over, especially the northern and central Bahamas, and Abaco going through a lot, and New Providence, and Coral Harbor, big issues out there. People saying already this morning, it seems that the Coral Harbor road fire has jumped to the western side of the road. This is south of the airport, south of Odyssey, folks. So you might want to avoid that area if you can. It was closed off a bit yesterday. We'll talk a little bit more about this coming up, but it's already started getting reports, calls, and even the power. So there's a lot happening in western New Providence. So, boy, and no rain in sight, not for at least a few more days. So, boy. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But coming up, we're going to be finding more about the Fun Run Push Walk from Zonta Club of Nassau. We've got all the details about that coming up in our 8 o'clock hour, and a lot more to talk about in business in our 9 o'clock hour. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, reaction continues to pour in to the death of Loftus Roker. Died yesterday at the age of 88. The former minister, hailed as a man of great principle. Today's NASA Guardian got to pick up the paper to read about this. A. Loftus Roker, one of the heroes of the progressive movement in the Bahamas and a signatory to the Constitution, died on Monday at Doctors Hospital in Nassau. He was 88. Roker, who was born on August 25th, 1935, in Delectable Bay in Acklands, is being remembered as a no-nonsense, principled, uncompromised Acklands Islander whose work as Minister of National Security and Immigration during the Pindling administration stands out prominently in the minds of many, many Bahamians. His nephew, Dwayne Roker, who was like a son to him, said he was admitted to hospital last Wednesday after he had some shortness of breath and was expected to be discharged within the next couple of days, so his death came as a surprise. In a statement, Prime Minister Philip Davis remembered Roker as a distinguished statesman and an advocate for justice and security. He said, quote, his contributions during critical periods of our history were pivotal, driven by his passion for our nation's prosperity and a deeply held belief in the Bahamian spirit. His leadership in immigration was marked by significant and transformative policies that have shaped the course of our nation. Beyond his public service, Mr. Roker was a cherished family man and a wise counsel to many. His wisdom, integrity, and courage were his hallmarks, touching everyone who knew him. This is a great article, lots of tributes, lots of his history, and the impact he's had. So you've got to pick up today's NASA Guardian to read about it. And I want to hear from you all this morning, your memories. I know a lot of people, every time we talk about immigration, people will mention Loftus Roker and the policies that he had in the 80s. And so let's hear from you. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 4224. So again, our condolences to the family and to everyone who knew and loved him. And may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
All right, so again, you can continue to send your wishes and your memories, your thoughts in. as we continue to talk about what's in the news today. So, as we mentioned, the fires all over. We've got New Providence, we've got Andros, we've got Abaco, and just this unbelievable. Is it a heat wave? I guess it is, but also this dry spell. The last time we spoke to the director of meteorology, he didn't want to say it was a drought, but this is long, and we're very close.
Yeah.
This is technically this week should mark the start of the rainy season, but ain't no
we had
rain.
a couple of days where over here it was like very dark.
Yes,
So
yes, us as
and we
well.
were like, okay,
It's coming
here
now.
it comes.
Right.
It's not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. And this is the brownest I've seen some lawns in a long time.
Yeah, Yamon is getting there. Pretty dry.
Yeah. And we know, and in the last few years, the dry season, which is what we're in, hasn't been that dry. We've had a lot of rain come in. It's been very wet early springs and winters, but this year is a little bit different. And even with the cold fronts, I don't remember that much rain.
Right.
So, boy, we need it desperately. So already this morning, if you saw it yesterday, there were videos, there were fires on Coral Harbor Road, and lots of smoke. I think they had to close the road at one point. And already this morning, folks out in that area saying that it seems the fires jumped the road. It was mainly on the east side. It's now on the west side. It's a lot of pine forest out there. And the smoke is out there again. Got a report just now that the power was out. I don't know if that's related to that.
Right.
But a lot going on. And of course, we know Abaco has been dealing with this for a long time, and the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness Management and Reconstruction says they're trying to send equipment and officers there to help battle the fires. And this is just a really dangerous time. Lots of folks are near these areas, residential areas, and so they're all in the path of this. So it didn't help last week when we had that scrapyard on fire. And of course, that was a very potentially dangerous day when we had a water issue here in New Providence, and water was out for many hours for many people. And
that was on the same day, right?
Same day. Yeah. And that area, of course, was surrounded by homes. And yesterday we see the Ministry of Environment says it wants to get these businesses out of residential areas.
Wow.
So, yeah.
How do you do that? These businesses have been there. Some of them, homes.
That's right. Well, they mentioned Crown land, granting Crown land to some of these folks to move away from the residential areas. And you're right, some of the homes sprung up around these sites.
Right.
But we are in New Providence, not much land. So we've got many issues. All right, so let's talk about all these things, folks. Continue to call us, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Everything good? How you doing?
Doing well.
So I just want to make a comment on the fires. All across the world now, they show this awareness of global warming and how that is affecting us. And normally I know these forest fires to be something that is predominant across California and the forests in California. But if this, and I'm only speculating because when these things happen, we don't ever really they never give us any more times unless you don't have no data or statistics in that regard. But if this is as a result of global warming, we really need to look into, because I work on the southwest side of the Bahamas, and some of the fumes we be pumping in the ozone layer. And when you look at our neighbor who we take so much pointers from, their country is just fully polluted. I don't know the last time you went over to the States, Dwight, but I mean, the environment is just a mess.
Okay,
And
I
think,
got to stop you. I mean, I wanted you to get your point out, but I have to stop you. This is not unusual. This is the dry season for the Bahamas. It happens. The pine forests need the fires so it can regenerate. Right? The problem is that humans, we are now living very close to these areas. And so that's what's changed.
oh, so this is like
But
something that normally happens.
This always happens this time of the year.
Okay.
Until the rainy seasons come, this happens. It's much drier than usual this year, right? But this does happen. This is the way it is. But people are much closer now. We keep moving further into the pine forest areas, cutting down those trees. But this is what happens. But it's I'm not going to say climate change is not involved in this, but this is a typical thing for the Bahamas in the dry season.
All right. Well, understandably so. So I just with what you're saying taken in mind, I just think like as Bahamians we should like monitor it more and make sure it isn't being like exacerbated by climate change. But thanks for the insight, Dwight, and you all continue to have a good show.
No problem. Thank you. And you're right. We need to be watching what we be very careful, right? This is why we have to be careful with the littering, which is still a huge problem. People throwing bottles out the window, like
all
it's
of
nothing.
Those add to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. This heat, the sun, the rays hit that glass at the right time and angle. You got chaos, and everybody's still just. I was thinking about this at the World Relays, Laverne. I couldn't believe it. The next day, the Sunday, in the parking lot, people just left everything, but bottles, tons of bottles, and obviously they didn't get this at the Relays because I don't think they were serving bottles. So people were in the parking lot doing, I don't know, tailgating or whatever, but just left them right there. And this is the type of attitude that we have that are going to make these issues that are natural much worse.
Right.
So it's scary. It's very scary.
I don't know what the issue is. I don't know why we like to litter. That's the only thing that I can say. I don't know why, but
yeah,
they have garbage in your car, throw it out the window. You're going home. Go out on a limb and say, more than likely you do have a trash can.
Yeah.
But on your way home, just roll down the window.
It doesn't make sense.
Throw it. You have a bottle, you just throw it in the bush and you don't think about it anymore. And then we get to this dry season and we end up in that same area with all of these fires and difficult to contain because you and the other person and the next person, you've thrown bottles in there.
Absolutely. It's crazy. Yeah. All right, let's get to some of these text messages. Person says here, I think you've been texting this for a while. We've got our people investigating this, but they're talking about social services and Andros. So we're looking into it. We're looking into it to see what's going on there. But I'll read it again. I don't know what's happening. This is the third time they've texted. Social services in North and Central Andros have not paid food stores for the past 3 months for groceries received by coupons they give to customers. So headquarters for social service have not issued coupons as yet for the month of April. People need their food, but the stores need their money. Okay.
Yeah.
This person says here, condolences to the Roker family and what's going on with BPL in Eleuthera. Well, I'll read the article again that's in today's Nassau Guardian. It says that residents in North Eleuthera were still without power last night after a major system failure at the Hatchet Bay Power Station on Sunday. BPL says that at present the company is unable to give an estimated time for restoration. However, the team has made significant progress and is working on synchronization to regulate electricity coming out of the Hatchet Bay Power Station. BPL remains committed or confident that supply will be restored within the next few hours. BPL apologizes to customers experiencing the prolonged outage and assures them that this is an extraordinary event outside the company's control. Oh boy. BPL says the system failure caused an island-wide power outage on Eleuthera, but noted that power was eventually restored to residents in South Eleuthera. It said that once the team attempted to re-energize its north feeder out of the Hatchet Bay power station, they discovered major switchgear damage. It's from New Providence, and a senior engineer who was flown into North Eleuthera on Sunday evening to assist the local team with completing repairs and restoring service. Sunday night and into Monday, BPL's team worked nonstop, they say, to complete major repairs, including cabling and system reconfiguration. The complexity of this work has extended the outage time for customers in North Eleuthera. Nonetheless, BPL's leadership is confident that it has the best personnel on the ground to complete the work and eventually restore service to customers.
Oh, boy. That doesn't sound good, Dwight.
Gee, my God.
Yeah.
Wow. So every island, you got something going on, crazy going on. It's a lot. It's a lot. This text here, since we, oh boy, okay, this is a lot. I'm saddened by the loss of Loftus Roker. He was a Bahamian pioneer that fought against illegals. Wow. Oh boy. Okay. A real man.
Okay.
He was not a beta man who sympathizes with illegals like some radio personalities.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow. These soft men who want to appease illegals. That's the definition of a real man in caps. He will surely be missed.
Yeah. Okay.
And yet they come. And yet they still come. But anyway, okay. On another note, this is the same texter, we need to check to make sure these illegals are not setting the fires, trying to destroy Bahamian forestry. Wow, this is a special person today. Since we're talking about garbage, oh God, wow. When will we be, when will they do something about the many non-biodegradable feminine hygiene products and diapers that do not break down, which add to environmental decay? Illegals, sympathizing soft radio men and women and babies, they got a problem with everybody. So, hey, be careful if you run into that one today. Oh boy. Many times, forest fires are started by someone, either deliberately or by accident. On a side note, can the government please raise the height of the railings on the Paradise Island Bridge? Which one? You mean the old one? Because the old one is ridiculous. That one is... I think cats are nervous walking on that bridge. The railing is... Boy. This texter says, while I extend sympathies to the family of Loftus Roker... Oh, dear. You think you needed to text this? I'm not going to read it. Oh, boy. But anyway, they said some of the policies were a little harsh. Okay. Okay. Oh, boy. Oliver. Can I go back on vacation?
Well,
Can I go back on vacation?
Listen, Dwight, and cats, you asked for this. And that is exactly what they're doing.
I've never heard of beta man before. Alpha man, yes. So the opposite is beta man? Yeah, okay, that's interesting. This texter says, social services have a bigger problem. The staff are again getting bonuses for cutting off assistance to old, sick, and disabled people. Are you sure about this?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, you sure about this? What are you saying? Another text. Thank you, Dwight, for putting the brakes on the climate change alarmists. I wasn't doing that. I was just saying that this is
just
not an unnatural thing.
Right.
You should be alarmed. You should be, but okay. Anyway, I can clearly remember years upon years of very little rain and being quite happy for beautiful sunny days. I remember years upon years of almost daily thunder, lightning, torrential rain, and flooding. Just normal weather shifts over decades. I also remember years of excessive dryness signaled by dry lawns. You are 1,000% correct. What we are seeing in terms of our environment has more to do with our lack of town planning, incursion into wetlands, destruction of mangroves, eradication of hills, and every inch of dirt east of Gladstone Road. Yep, okay. It's everything, all of it coming together. While we're doing that, yeah, we're taking a toll on the environment, and yeah, the climate is changing, absolutely. But yeah, all of that is happening, absolutely. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi. Good morning.
Yeah, I like that last text, but I'm noticing that they're only talking about certain junkyards. They have one right in the heart of the city on Wolf Road, etc., and some places within the residential areas. So I would hope they would look into those too and probably give him a piece of land or that way too.
I think they're talking about everybody.
Hello?
I think they're talking about everybody.
All right, then. But yeah, Mr. Strong, as it relates to something you said, right? Brace yourself for this global psychological operation they're running about forest fires. Right now, the gentleman that called, he was on to something. But the thing is, I'm glad you mentioned glass bottles, certain human activity that really makes the bush more susceptible to fires, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as it relates to the science behind the sun shining on the bush, and causing a fire without human induction, that's foolishness, Mr. Strong. Now, you said glass bottles, in which you're correct, but you actually have to have certain conditions in order for that to happen, and there is possibilities it could happen. You could have a spark from a catalytic converter, a hot bearing from a motor vehicle, a cigarette, but anthropogenic activity. But and I like how you mentioned there's not much space in Nassau, but we're still living like Jacob and Esau, and we're still cutting down our bush, our forestry. The text highlighted these things. So if we have limited space and we don't have town planning actually looking at green spaces, then this narrative about CO2 offset and climate change, it's really a farce, because the amount of CO2 in the air, you realize if you decrease the amount of CO2 in the air, you actually plants can't make oxygen and glucose, and so it's counterintuitive. So I'm afraid that our minds are being kidnapped along a false science paradigm. But what I would like for you to do is that you say these happen this type of year, but you could show me the data, and also I would like for somebody to prove. I don't know if they got to prove it to me, but I wouldn't buy it that the sun's shining on God's earth with no human activity. That's very unlikely to happen, Mr. Swan. I just can't buy into that. All over the world, they're doing this for a reason. What it is? Do you expect me to believe the sun shining on the bush is going to start a fire? I could sit in the bush for a couple hours this year and just see what happens, because I just can't buy into it. Given the fact that we are being duped about climate change, the science behind it, even the government with the carbon credits. Why is it that the government, they got to borrow money for the hospital, but they're talking about carbon credits offsetting and the amount of money that we can collect from the carbon offset for our oceans and forestry? But who's doing the carbon accounting? And what is the consensus?
Right. You're talking about a whole lot of different... A whole lot...
Many, I am one,
okay.
But I'm not going to be fooled by this BS. Bless up.
All right, you're talking about a whole lot of different things. You don't believe that, okay, the bushfires, this is nature. This is Mother Nature. This is how this has been happening for long before any of us got here. Come on. This is the way the new growth is sparked. Humans are making it more frequent and bigger than it used to be. But that part, come on now. Oh, boy. Okay, let's take this call. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning to your guests, and good morning, Bahamas. First, let's give condolences to Loftus Roger and his family, the true nationalist and a patriot that hails from the island of Auckland, one of the key cornerstone contributors of nationalists in the Bahamas. Talking about this heat, right? But I want you to know that when we talk about the energy that we're losing every day, the sun rised at 6:24 today. It rised at 6:25 yesterday, 1 minute every day, and it will set at 7:46 today as it did yesterday, 13 hours and 22 minutes. When we speak about the BPL and what they're trying to sell off our asset, we are losing the same heat and energy we complain about with energy to put solar panels and fuel this country where we do not need this fossil fuel. The great state of Florida, from Key West to Jacksonville and over to the west to Tallahassee and Gainesville, they have not split up Florida Power and Light. So we have to keep our eyes on what is happening for us as a people. On the weekend, I confirmed that, do you know that Ragged Island is solar? They just commissioned it. I think it was last.
Yeah, everybody knows that. They made a big deal about it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Ragged Island is only generating, I confirmed it, about 80 to 90 kilowatts, right? And the solar plant that they have, they're running it, is generating 400 kilowatts. That's ample to run the whole island, right? The same solar plant can run Crooked Island, which is consuming 280 kilowatts. It can almost solarize Auckland's 420 kilowatts. You see what I'm saying? Maguana would be less. You see, these small places, and we speak about, now they say Hatchet Bay and all the rest of them. They just mentioned last week that BPL needs 27 megawatts to do all the family islands and 60 megawatts to do Nassau, right? But if they check all of these islands, just like I said, the Ragged Island plant can run somewhere like Crooked Island and Auckland, and all of them have been losing energy, because we, the consumers in Nassau, been carrying the weight. Now, if they came with this this private partnership plan in February, offering it in March, they've been working on that from last year. They started a new energy ministry, right? And now they don't want to make us think we need a whole $500 million to turn around BPL. Hogwash. The CA that we are consuming, we are enduring every day is the energy free from God. You see what I'm saying? Just the panels at first. We just need the panels. The batteries can wait. And
okay, so you can do this on your own. You're saying that the government should...
No, I'm talking about BPL.
BPL. Okay. Well, most of us don't want anything to do with them. Many of us would like to right, Laverne? Oh, well, you don't have to deal with them over there. Thank God for you. But many of us would want very little to do with them. So what you want?
No. We want to do. Who can afford to? Right? We just saying BPL. They want to sell it off. It is a grift. We have to watch them with their chicanery and their sophistry, the trickery to achieve a political, legal, or financial purpose. We cannot let up on them. They see how quick they ran that bill through Parliament 2 weeks ago in one day. Watch what they're dealing with, because the innocent, the poor will suffer. You see what I'm saying? We have to keep a wide scope on it. Just think about it. Look at everybody. Pay attention to what Ragged Island is that, and it can do every island.
Okay.
We don't need no whole 500 million. Once you get the solar panels, you have to harness the energy first, and you can get the batteries later.
Well, there are a lot of challenges with that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Got the space limitations again for what we would require to put. If you wanted the power company to be responsible for that, I think that would be a challenge. But definitely, everyone can agree that they need to reduce their reliance on fossil fuels and include more renewable energy. Everybody knows that. Is the percentage they want to move to enough? We can debate that for hours, I'm sure. We'll take one more call, then we've got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight, and good morning to Laverne.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
First, I just want to offer condolences on the passing of a true patriot, Mr. Roker. And it's just sad that if only successive governments had listened to this man, we wouldn't find ourselves in this quagmire that we find ourselves in today in respect to the amount of immigrants in the Bahamas. And I'm speaking illegal. I have no issues with anyone who clear customs and immigration. But for me, it's everyone paying their fair share for me, as opposed to someone living in the bush and saving 80% of their salary while I got to spend 80% of mine just to sustain myself and my family. That's the reason why I have a problem with illegal migration. Now, in respect to these bushfires, Dwight, I really would have been less concerned in the 80s and early 90s. But when we look at what is happening now with these frequent bushfires, I'll be an idiot to believe that some of this is an intentional and recklessness, either people flipping cigarette butts out of cars or etc. But it isn't just
anything. I don't think it have anything to do in that large significance when you come talk about global warming. I can't buy into that because we are headed now into the summer where everybody is going to be grilling, and a lot of people is going to need coal. It may sound like I'm a conspiracy theory, but when you look at our forestry, they're becoming depleted. They're really becoming depleted. Pine forests would be throughout New Providence. They're no longer here. And some have to do with development, some have to do with reckless fires. And I don't know what we're going to do to correct it, but we're in a serious dilemma right here now, because if we will have this large amounts of rain, this island perhaps will sink, because there's nothing in it to protect, even the landfill. Let's look at how we treat our landfill. Everybody cut it down to almost nothing. And they were designed like that. They were left like that for hundreds of years for a reason. But in the last 50 years, we really have become very reckless in the way we deal with a whole lot of things in the country. And I don't know what type of Bahamas we are building, but this isn't anything that no one should want to emulate and say, well, our leaders did well, because they really use this Bahamas as their playing ground. That's all I have to say on this one.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Let's take a break. Oh, yeah. Let's take this call. Okay. Call in the air. Are you there? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go to the break. This is Morning Blend on a Tuesday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're going to come back after the break. A whole lot more to talk about in the news right here. Stay with us.
Uptown got its hustlers, the Bowery got its bums, 42nd Street got Big Jim, a Walker, he a bull shooting son of a gun. Yeah, he's big and dumb as a man can come, but he's stronger than a country horse. And when the bad folks all get together at night, you know they all call Big Jim Ball just because. And they say you don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit into the wind, you don't pull a mask off an old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. Country boy said, I'm looking for a man named Jim. I am a bull shooting boy, my name is Willie McCoy, but down at home they call me Slim.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley.
The southeast is getting soaked today. Rain and thunderstorms. There could be flooding. These thunderstorms could be severe and pound parts of Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina. Forecasters talking about damaging winds, hail, and maybe tornadoes. Donald Trump's hush money trial resumes today in New York, and Michael Cohen will be back on the witness stand.
Donald Trump's former lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, told jurors Monday about the $130,000 payment he made to Stormy Daniels in 2016 so that she would stay quiet about what she says was a sexual encounter with Trump, which he denies. Cohen testifying that Trump told him if the news got out during the election, women would hate him, and that the story was about to get out in the Daily Mail and she had to be paid. Cohen says Trump told him he'd be paid back. Prosecutors Cohen back labeled it legal expenses to cover up the hush money deal. Trump denying those charges. At court in Manhattan, I'm Julie Walker.
It's a dangerous moment in Ukraine, say experts. This morning, Secretary of State Antony Blinken is there, assuring President Zelensky of American support as Ukraine battles Russia.
We know this is a challenging time, but we also know that in the near term, the assistance is now on the way. Some of it's already arrived. More of it will be arriving. And that's going to make a real difference against the ongoing Russian aggression on the battlefield.
President Zelensky is asking for more air defense systems. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating crashes involving Waymo's self-driving vehicles. It's gotten 22 reports of Waymo vehicles either crashing or maybe violating traffic laws. Caitlin Clark's much-anticipated WNBA debut is tonight in Connecticut. This is AP News. There's word of dozens of probation officers who've been put on leave in Los Angeles. The AP's Donna Warder with this story.
The Los Angeles County Probation Department says that over the past 5 months, it's put 66 of its officers on administrative leave for suspected offenses such as sexual abuse, excessive force, and drug possession. The department made the announcement Monday, saying it wants to regain public trust as it roots out employees engaged in misconduct. The probation officers were assigned to both the department's adult operations. Officials say that of the 66 officers, 39 were cited for general misconduct, which includes suspected use of excessive force, child endangerment or abuse, possession of contraband, and negligent supervision. 18 were put on leave for suspected sexual misconduct. I'm Donna Warder.
I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
It is time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Get a no-fee auto loan with up to 100% financing. In your real-time traffic, you've got to know that Coral Harbor Road is going to be a challenge for you this morning, and you might want to avoid the area if you can. The reports that there's still a lot of smoke, and that even the fire might have, the fire is still raging out there and might have even jumped the road. And so, again, avoid that area if you can. At this hour, we're still westbound on Carmichael Road towards that roundabout with Coral Harbor Road. Milo Butler Highway is your other hot spot this morning from well south of Bellot Road, straight through the Fire Trail roundabout up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. You're going to be seeing slow-moving traffic there, northbound traffic building on Fire Trail eastbound toward that roundabout. And Gladstone Road, also slow-moving, but moving a bit better than Milo Butler Highway. If you're heading northbound towards the roundabout with John F. Kennedy Drive and Bahamar Boulevard. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic for you just north of Carmichael, especially near Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive if you're heading northbound. And a bit of congestion, unusual congestion coming off the, if you're heading southbound, coming off Independence Drive at this hour. And then we've got Robinson Road, heavy traffic between Soldier Road and Old Trail. If you're heading westbound, that Soldier Road, Prince Charles, Robinson Road intersection looking busy for you. And Soldier Road's going to be congested if you're heading northbound from that intersection toward Bernard, Wolf, and Village Road. Eastern Road, slow-moving traffic just east of Fox Hill to about Johnson Road so far. That's what we're seeing at this time. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Plan traffic brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/carloan/all of you for more information. And time for another check of your weather, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a high-pressure ridge extending across the islands. That's going to continue to promote dry and hot weather conditions with fresh to moderate breezes. A trough across central Florida will enhance cloudiness and produce a few isolated showers over the extreme northwest Bahamas through tonight. Very high UV indices anticipated across all areas. Therefore, everybody's being advised to limit excessive outdoor activity during peak sunshine hours. Wear protective garments and sunscreen, and remain hydrated. And without the chance of any significant rainfall and an uptick in winds, conditions will remain conducive to the development of potential brush and bush fires throughout the week. So, for all areas today, partly cloudy, hot and breezy with a few isolated showers, mainly in the extreme northwestern islands. Mostly sunny, hot and breezy, becoming fair, warm, and breezy tonight in the central and southeast Bahamas. For boaters, a small craft caution is in effect. Temperatures today getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. But the heat index will make you feel like it's 99 Fahrenheit, 37 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. It is currently about 81 degrees. Some parts of New Providence seeing a light shower at this time. In your extended outlook, high pressure conditions and stable conditions across most of the islands through Thursday, but a frontal boundary is expected to move into the extreme northwest Bahamas by Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. Cloudiness and shower activity associated with the front will affect the northwestern islands and hopefully bring some much needed rain. So for Wednesday, tomorrow, mostly sunny, hot, and breezy, becoming cloudy and windy with scattered showers at night in the northwest Bahamas. Sunny and hot, becoming fair and warm at night elsewhere. Thursday, partly cloudy with isolated showers in the northwestern Bahamas. Variably cloudy and hot with a chance of isolated showers over the remainder of the islands. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Easy Car Sales has done it again. First there was BYD, then Jack, now Radar pickup trucks by Geely are joining the all-electric family. With 8 years of experience and 3 quality brands to choose from, there's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales, home of the electric vehicle. Visit easy242.com to see all the many options for ditching the pump and driving electric.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never now, only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Cheney's Uniform Center, Chesapeake Road warehouse clearance sale. Up to 50% off under the Big Ten only. Going on now. Everything under the tent must go. School uniforms, character raincoats, socks, fabrics and laces, backpacks, zippers, ribbons, hair bubbles, and much more. Everything must go. Up to 50% off. Yes, up to 50% off. Save on selected school uniforms now. Restrictions may apply. Hurry into Cheney's Chesapeake Road tent warehouse clearance sale. No exchanges or refunds on the items on sale. All sales are final.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
Here's to the go-getters, the early risers, and the late-night dreamers. You, the visionaries, painting futures in your mind, in your studio, your office, your sacred space. Here's to the adventurers, explorers of every realm. To you, the innovators, turning the cogs of progress. In a world where connection is a lifeline, a pathway to possibilities. Alive is the perfect connection for everyone, every lifestyle, every day.
Visit BeAlive.com today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back here with Morning Blend. We're going to break for news. When we come back, though, more on the forest fires, but also on what the police are saying about the latest murders with these teens and a high school feud that led to their deaths. Unbelievable story. We're going to get into that and a whole lot more when we get back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Paid for every heart that I ever stole. I played my cards and I didn't fold. Well, it ain't that hard when you got sold. Somewhere I heard that life is a test. I've been through the worst, but I still give my best. God made my mold different from the rest. Then he broke that mold, so I know I'm blessed. Stand up now and face the sun. Won't hide my tail or turn and run. It's time to do what must be done. Be a king when kingdom comes. So you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:30, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's happening. We've got a high-pressure ridge extending across the islands that continues to dominate and promote dry and hot conditions, along with fresh to moderate breezes. A trough over central Florida will enhance cloudiness and produce a few isolated showers over the extreme northwestern islands through tonight. Got a number of warnings, though. Very high UV into the area, and the public's being advised to limit excessive outdoor activities during peak sunshine hours. And you're advised to wear protective garments or sunscreen and remain hydrated. And with a very low chance of rain and the increasing winds, conditions remain conducive for potential brush or bush fires. So for all areas today, we're looking at partly cloudy, hot and breezy conditions with a few isolated showers, mainly in the extreme northwestern Bahamas. Mostly sunny, hot and breezy, becoming fair, warm and breezy tonight in the central and southeastern islands. Small craft caution in effect for boaters. Temperatures today getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make you feel like it's 99 Fahrenheit, 37 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will continue to promote dry and stable weather conditions across most of the islands through Thursday, but a frontal boundary is expected to move into the extreme northwest Bahamas by late Wednesday, early Thursday morning, and cloudiness and shower activity associated with that front will affect the northwestern islands and hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, hopefully bring some much-needed rain. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, mostly sunny, hot and breezy, becoming cloudy and windy with scattered showers at night in the northwest Bahamas, sunny and hot, becoming fair and warm at night elsewhere. Thursday, partly cloudy with isolated showers in the northwest Bahamas, variably cloudy and hot with a chance of isolated passing showers over the remainder of the country. Brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And it's time for another check of your traffic brought to you by RBC. Get a no-fee auto loan with up to 100% financing. All right, so have been telling you about the issues in the Coral Harbor area with the bushfires, and we're told that the Coral Harbor Road is open, but you want to avoid the area if you can. There's still a lot of smoke, and there are still pockets of fires on both sides of the road. So proceed with caution or avoid it entirely. And keep that in mind if you make your way out in that area today. Traffic, we're seeing pockets of congestion along Carmichael Road, especially eastbound if you're heading towards the junction with Milo Butler Highway near Faith Avenue. If you're heading eastbound, you're going to see that there. And Faith Avenue looking busy for you as you approach Carmichael Road. That's northbound on Faith Avenue. We've got Milo Butler Highway heavy traffic from Bellot Road straight through the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. That's northbound. Traffic is back to both directions on Fire Trail. And Tawny Williams Darling Highway heavy traffic eastbound towards the roundabout with Milo Butler Highway at this hour. The six-legged roundabout also busy for you northbound on Milo Butler Highway, eastbound on JFK, especially southbound on your Providence Highway, and southwestbound on Farrington Road. That might be northeastbound as well. And then we've got Saunders Beach area, West Bay Street there, busy as you approach that roundabout with your Providence Highway if you're heading eastbound. Blue Hill Road is busy for you near Carmichael and north of Soldier Road on the way to the Independence Drive roundabout. Independence Drive backed up as well, westbound. North and south of Soldier Road on East Street, you're going to be seeing heavy traffic northbound, and Soldier Road is busy from that area, intersection with Robinson and Prince Charles Drive, all the way through to Bernard Wolfe and Village Road. Robinson is backed up westbound. Eastern Road, as usual, heavy traffic from just east of Fox Hill to Johnson Road. That's what we're seeing. That's your real-time traffic and your morning event traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/carloan/all of you for more information.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner for you on this Tuesday morning. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Zona Club of Nassau about their Fun Run Push Walk. Get all the details about that in just a few minutes. All right, we want to get through some of the things we've been talking about in the news really quickly with the bushfire situation. I guess this is people not aware that we have a dry season. We actually have a bushfire season. I'm surprised at it. I know we've had some kind of wet, dry seasons over the past few years. This is the longest dry season we've had in a few years. Perhaps that's why people aren't aware, but this texter knows. This person says, "I'm 70 years old and I've lived in North Andros all my life, and around this time of year there's always forest fires."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's a thing. Like growing up, even now we say, well, we say it's bushfire season.
Yeah, absolutely. This person says that global warming and climate change is happening right in front of our eyes. Okay, well, that's true. But this texter says, I believe the majority of brush fires are caused by human irresponsibility, along with hot temperatures and dry vegetation make a recipe for disaster. Absolutely. That is very true.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
This texter says we need to be less binary in our thinking. It can be a combination of the dry season being exacerbated by global warming, overdevelopment, and recklessness, which leads to deadlier and more frequent forest fires. The solution to our energy issues can be a combination of more reliance on solar power with battery backup, rooftop and municipality, upgrading generation BPL, and consuming less. Sometimes all of the above is the answer to the question on the test. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
What's with all these fires, man? You care to elaborate? Something's going on. Okay, so they're just tuning in, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, boy, yeah. All right, so I really want to get to this very quickly. This horrible situation with these teens, 2 teenagers losing their lives over something probably very petty and foolish. And this is a very sad situation.
Very sad.
And now, not only are those two dead, but many others are likely going to have major disruptions to their lives. And again, over what? Take a listen to this report from our Vonik Toot.
Over the weekend stemmed from an ongoing feud that started in a junior high school and spilled over into the community, according to Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings, who said 3 people are now in custody and could be charged in court this week.
The incident involved an assault, a simple assault, that was never reported to the police, that was never even reported to the parents. Had the children reported it, this situation could have been prevented.
According to police, an 18-year-old was on a basketball court near a school on Wolf Road with 3 others around 10:30 Friday night when they got into a confrontation with 3 teenage boys dressed in hooded jackets. The victim and his friends left the area following the confrontation, prompting one of the teens in a hooded jacket to pursue them and shoot him. The 18-year-old was taken to hospital where he died.
One of the suspects, one of the 3 males, had an ongoing feud with the 4 males who were on the basketball court. That ongoing feud commenced from high school, and we saw it spill over into the community. Following that incident, an associate of the deceased went to Thresher Lane, where he decided, or I should say where the second incident occurred, and we had the 15-year-old being shot while he was inside the home.
An 18-year-old man has been arrested in connection with the teen's murder. Meanwhile, 2 boys, aged 15 and 16, remain in custody in connection with the first incident. Skipping says the 2 suspects claim to be part of a gang.
The 15 and the 16-year-old are claiming to be members of a gang within New Providence. At this time, I will not disclose which gang it is in an effort for us not to see any retaliation being taken place. But we are actively investigating these incidents, and hopefully before the end of the week, we should see persons who we have in our custody going before the courts.
Asked if police fear further retaliation, Skipping said authorities believe they have the matter under control, but have involved Urban Renewal to monitor the situation. She had this warning for parents.
Parents, it's time for you to start parenting your children properly. And I can assure you, we're going to look and find areas within the statutes where we can also place you before the courts because you children's actions.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonik Toot.
Well, let's get your quick reaction to it. I guess our anti-gang legislation's not been fully enacted yet, or what's happening with that? Because that would seem to be what's needed to address all of this, no?
Yeah, I don't know.
But just really just disturbing.
It's just very disheartening, disturbing.
Crazy stuff. Let's get your quick reaction to it, folks. We're running out of time in this segment, but 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. This person's asking our text line, were those children interviewed without their parents? I mean, no, that's the part you're concerned about there? Okay, well, I mean, Wow. This person says here, back to this. I'm 50 years old and I can remember Smokey the Bear saying only you can prevent forest fires, only you. If fires are so common, why are so many people so in the dark? Put in place to fight the anticipated fires. I don't believe the sun just ignites the bushes. Okay. God. Let's take these calls really quickly. Gonna have some science classes and stuff on the show, maybe. Oh, dear. Anyway, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good
Hi.
morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Listen, with the incidents in school, it happens more frequently than it is reported. You know, because I have a 14-year-old in a government senior school who is threatening to not go back to school unless I move him, because there are some boys in the nearby junior school that tends to come after him in the evening because he refused to associate with them. He live in the community with them, but he don't hang out with them. So they tend to get offended by that. And they chase him a few times, so I am in talks with the school to try and get him transferred before the young men then finish junior school, because they're in grade 9, and they will be coming right into that same senior school that he is in. And if that happens, he don't want to end up as a victim. And it feels like it's taking an eternity for the decision to be made for him to be transferred.
Well, have the police been called in? The police involved in this?
The school police is involved. But he's afraid to tell the school police. He's afraid to point out the guys because he said he walks home in the evenings. He lives in the community, and he feels like they will come after him, or because he knows those particular set of guys, he knows who to look out for when he's going home in the evenings. However, he said if he report them to the police, he feels like they're going to put a different set of guys to come after him who he don't know.
Wow.
So this is a very serious matter. I am now thinking about sending my child to a family island if that would help, because it's like if he report them, those set ain't gonna come after him no more. They gonna send another set who he don't know, so he won't know who to look out for. You see, so this is a serious matter. I think we need to take this more serious than we are. And even though the police are saying they're gonna get the urban renewal involved, I think we need something more serious than what is actually happening to prevent this. Because this is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not an easy thing.
That's really rough. I hope everything works out here. And you need to get those kids' parents involved, right? This is before anything crazy happens. This is, wow.
True, that's true. But like I said, he's afraid to even point them out to me because he know I'll point them out to the police. Because he feel like they will no longer come after him, and they would send people who he won't even expect.
Right.
That will actually catch him.
Awful.
So to avoid getting caught by them, he doesn't want to point them out because he know them and he know who to look out for or who to run from when he see them.
Wow.
So that's another issue.
All right. Hope this gets sorted out. Thank you very much for sharing. And a final call on this. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight. Well, I wanted to comment real quickly. You know, when I used to drive a bus some years ago, I used to have to pick up the young boys from L.W. Young and take them Prince Charles to get them to Elizabeth Estates because the boys in Fox Hill was out for them. But they wasn't killing one another then. They were just breaking up my bus, trying to get at them with rocks. But it looks like it has escalated to the point now where they're actually murdering young men.
And have guns. Everybody's got a gun.
Yeah. But Dwight, if I could just quickly say something. When I was in Boy Scouts, we were taught how to start a fire with water lens. You know, the lens that's in your eye, that's in binoculars. And you can do that with the focus from the sun rays. With a little bit of wind, you got a fire. All right, so you were right when you mentioned that the first time. And to the gentleman who's talking about using solar panels without batteries, the solar panels cannot carry the load because it's not kilowatts that you use, it's kilowatt hours. So he needs to look at that, asking the government to just use solar panels alone. You have to get batteries that are measured in amp hours instead of just kilowatt. Okay, so just let's get that right.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Let's read these messages as we go to the break. This person says here that the earlier texter has a point, but by law, the interview can't occur without a parent or guardian. But why is the texter asking? These are the same parents who let their 15-year-olds be out on the streets at 10:30 and later at night. This texter says is asking, will those boys be charged with murder? Will they be tried as adults? We don't like to do those things around here, and then you're out at 18, 19, doing whatever you want again. When are we going to get serious about this stuff, right? Hey, let's take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Paid for every heart that I ever stole. I played my
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this. to impress myself. We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelley, or one of our other wonderful staff members. We treat our customers with the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin-Williams, Bahamas, and you'll surely find color in every day.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
Make Mother's Day one to remember with a delightful Mother's Day brunch valued at $300 courtesy of Haagen-Dazs and Fun Foods Wholesale. It's simple. Just head over to Lickety Split or Super Value locations and purchase a pint of your favorite Haagen-Dazs ice cream for just $8.99. After purchasing, don't forget to write your full name and number on the back of your receipt and drop it into any entry box at the store. You're now in the running for our grand prize drawing, taking place on May 10th. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Happy Mother's Day from Haagen-Dazs. Promotion ends May 8th.
Are you a business owner or HR professional? RF's team of pension specialists are here to empower your employees with market-leading retirement solutions and to make implementing group pensions easy and cost-effective. With RF, starting or switching your company pension plan is a breeze, and there are no setup fees. If you're looking for strong investment performance and low fees, visit rfgroup.com/empower and empower your team to retire comfortably with RF Group Pensions today. That's rfgroup.com/empower.
You hear what Boss Man was saying in the back there just now? About what? The luncheon? Why you always worried about food? No, we gotta pay a little more for national insurance. Mildred, you talking fool. I can't afford to pay that. And you're always crying, palm out. Ain't gonna be much. Boss still gotta pay. 1st of July, 2024. I think that terminal benefit is what did help my boy Tony through the pandemic. That same unemployment benefit. And guess what? What? Susan, I think she'd get a pregnancy benefit, eh? You mean maternity benefit, eh? So now, we gotta do our part to make sure we get our pension. All right.
For more information, visit nibratencrease.com.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
RBC is a bed for all of you. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure. RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Music, man. This is not a golden rule. Take it and don't be no fool. Check this.
You'll never see a dog barking at a parked car. You'll never see him barking if the car ain't moving. You'll never see people talking about you if you ain't going nowhere. But when you're trying to excel yourself, they got your name everywhere. 'cause dog don't bark at Parker. No way. Come on.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Changing gears now, well somewhat, because these issues are going to come up again. But Zonta Club of Nassau, always doing wonderful things. And they've got a We Are a Family Run, Push, Walk coming up. We're going to get details about that, and we're also going to talk about their work. And, of course, the president of Zonta Club of Nassau, Sonia Brown, is with us. And we also have the men's desk coordinator at the Department of Gender and Family Affairs, Chadwick James. Great to have you both with us. Great to have you back, Sonia.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, so we were talking, we're going to get to the fun run walk in a bit, but we were talking about these issues and just so disturbing what's happening in our country. Young men losing their lives so frequently and so disturbing. And Chadwick, we're going to have you back for an in-depth discussion, but you have been very close to this type of mentality, the type of circumstances that are happening to young men in our country. Tell us a little bit about that before we get too deep into it, but we will have you back to discuss it.
Good morning, Bahamas. I bless God for this. I'm reminded of a statement that people always make, and the statement is, I remember when if something happened, I used to get spanked and everybody else could spank, and I remember when. So that term has always been set up as I remember when. But I just want to point this out to our nation, and this is very, very crucial. When you say you remember, I like to put it of remember is not forget. The opposite of forget is not remember. The opposite of forget is to be reminded. And the opposite of remember is opposite of remember is dismembered. When you keep talking about what you remember, just realize that everything that's happening right now is because we are dismembered. And our young men are dismembered even in their homes because we keep saying we remember. No, let's remember them. Let's remember those who are dismembered. And coming from the background, we've served as the superintendent at the Simpson Pen for the past 6 years. And we're just now, I think the reward for good work is more work because now we are at the men's desk. We left working with the boys and now working with men. But a lot of, just in the conversation off air, dealing with our boys, that we've discovered in working with the boys, we were able to think transformation. And when you start to think transformation, then you get the results that happen. When you transform, and I really don't believe in the rehabilitation more than the transformation, because when you rehabilitate them and you send them back in the environment, they go right back to the environment. They become a product of the environment. Yeah. But when you transform them, it's like the worm and the caterpillar. A worm remains a worm, but a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, and a butterfly can never go back.
But how do you get to them before they end up at Simpson Pen?
Right. Well, before they end up at Simpson Pen is the concern, and that's going now to elementary school. You have to go to primary schools. We're trying to fix something that's already broken. And the words of Firmly Palmer, he said, it's easier to bend a boy than to break a man. When we start, what we have now in our society, we're dealing with young men who have been indoctrinated by the system that they're faced with. You have gangs are not optional anymore. You're in a gang by default. Somebody approached me one day and asked me, I heard y'all asking the boys what they riding when they come up to Simpson Pen. Well, if you don't ask them what they're riding at Simpson Pen or at the B-Docks, then you're going to put them the wrong place.
What's this that you're asking them? What are they what?
What they riding.
Okay,
riding
you got to break that down for us. Oh, okay. What gang?
Means what gang you in.
You knew that, Sonia?
How you gonna ask?
Okay.
What gang you in?
I was completely lost.
Right?
I'm sorry.
Right, okay. You got to learn to speak.
Yeah, but I just learned the language because I was in the environment. But when you have to find out what gang they're in. Why? Because if you put someone from Mad in the area where some other person is, you could have a problem because they're going to fight because they believe they're thinking. They're not thinking that we're already incarcerated, we're already here for something silly, so they're going to do silly stuff. But the bottom line is you have to transform their thinking. Once they came into the system where I was, we were able to place them who they are as individuals. I did not allow them to call themselves any nickname, any aliases, because that's not your name. Anyone who received that, anyone who responded to their name, they had to call them by an alias. You have to give me 100 push-ups. If you do it again, it doubles and it keeps doubling up. So you can come up to 1,000 push-ups. I did not pursue the corporal punishment. How could you not do corporal punishment? No, because that's how they got there in the first place. So I made them use their brain. You had to use. I say you get 16 ounces of a gray mass. Let's use this. The bottom line is if you transform their thinking. Let me show you how much this is so serious. This is so very serious because we had an affirmation. And I of course, I'm going to let the president speak. But we had an affirmation in Simpson Pen. And it goes like this. Every morning, midday, and at evening, they had to say this. I am so excited and grateful now that the Lord woke me up this morning. Despite where I am, this is not who I am. I am full of potential, vision, and purpose. The Lord is making provision for my next move even as I speak. Many other plans that I have, but it's the Lord's plan that will prevail. I am transformed. I am transformed. I am transformed. Ubuntu, I am because we are. Now, watch how crazy this is. This blew my mind. I'm now working with the juveniles in the juvenile facility at B-Docks. I walk in there. I don't know any of the boys because, of course, I've been out of the system now for a year. Walk in there, all of the juveniles in the facility. Mr. James, Mr. James, Mr. James. Well, how do you? Because you remember so-and-so. They call the names. I said, yes, that's my brother. And he made me so jealous knowing you because you were like a father to them. I said, what? They said, yes. And so I said, well, am I coming here to waste time or I'm coming here to work? They said, no, you come in to work. Please, please, please. So I said, now the first thing you're going to have to say is my affirmation. I'm going to teach you my affirmation. They said, hold on, let me show you something. Everybody in the juvenile facility. I am so excited and grateful now. I said, how you all know this? Because it transformed their brothers. So now we want to, now that you're here, help us to be transformed. So all I'm saying is we cannot take it for light. Those boys passed BJCs with A's and B's at Simpson Pen. The same boys who didn't go to school. But I made them go to school because if you're out there, you're not going into school. Well, today you come here, you go into school. So everybody was in school. The whole place was saturated with education. I'm big on education. I believe that we don't just take these boys and show them where they are. It's cool, but I want to show you where you can end up, where you can be. So my thinking is if I could transform your thinking, I never allow them to answer me yes or no. No, explain what you're saying. If you ask me a question, give me more words with that. You don't that question too short. So they learn how to. Looking at this newspaper in front of you, do you know if you cannot read, that's only a colorful piece of paper? It's pretty. They can't read the words, so now you have to break it down, teach them how to read, teach them everything, almost like elementary school again, because that's how serious it is to take our nation back. And I go on pause.
But I just want to ask you this. Was everybody in a gang? Is that how it is now? Or
well, like I was about to say, by default. Now, if you're coming from, let me just give you an example. If you live in the Fox Hill area and you have to go to, right in Fox Hill, and you have to go to Doris Johnson, there's some folk from Doris who lives in Elizabeth Estate. So when you're walking back to Fox Hill and the set who's walking to Elizabeth Estate, they have to walk together in bunches so that they don't have to attack each other or there's strength in numbers. So they'll walk, everybody wait together. Once you are from that area, Elizabeth Estate will attack you because you're from Fox Hill. Camp Road will attack you because you're from Camp Road. Now, I'm not calling the names of the place. It's just a walking distance that I'm talking about. So when you're dealing with that, you are now faced with, I'm in a gang by default. What gang am I in? The Fox Hill gang or the Elizabeth Estate gang. Why? Because we ain't gonna get home if we don't do it together. So if there's a big fight going on, because we're from Fox Hill, I can't let you get beat up because we're all walking together. But they're not in a gang. Some of them are not in a gang, but they have to be there by default.
I see some of our older listeners laughing at us because we don't know what your writing means. But so this is not new.
No, that's
and these
not new.
people, these are likely in gangs as well, and maybe the grandparents. But we're acting like this is new.
It's just terminology. Let me show you the terminology. I was able to separate a little fight in the center, right? Now this guy said, now you're gonna have to hear this because I have to say it all in one breath and everything. I said, what happened to you guys in here? No, he was slopping up, right? He was slopping up. And while he was slopping up, so I tell him, you want cut movie? Yeah, you want cut movie? So he said, no, we'll bounce up. And I'm looking lost. I do not know what they're saying. I said, what's going on in here? They say, no, that's him. He's slopping up. I say, hold on. Let's get English. What is slopping up? That's when you're running your mouth and you're talking too much. So he say, bounce up. That means jump up and let's fight. You want cut movie? Well, let's start fighting. So all of these jargon, it's only street term. It have nothing to do with being too old or too young. We just don't hang around the streets.
Right.
That's
right.
all.
But a lot of people have
The street terms.
But a lot of people have been involved in
Of
gangs.
course,
A lot of,
of course.
older people in the community were
course.
back in the day.
Yes.
Can we get out of this? Do you think this is in our genes? Will we be able to move away from this? Or
I
is it
think
just...
we can. I think we can by way of showing you another way. A lot of us are stuck because we do not have another way. And if you, I work with shock treatment. Carlos Reid in his program, I just worked with him for 1 year. And I insisted on him taking the boys that was with us right across the street to UB. When UB, I said, I wanted to show you another life. The first thing they said when they went to UB, whoa, plenty women around here. I said, yeah, but you're all over there. So if you just come in here for women, come get all the women you want. You can't stay in there if your academic ain't right. But they don't know. I'd trick you into coming here. Come for the woman. And when we went into the library, they said, lone woman in this library. These all what you call at-risk boys. If you try to get here if only for the woman, your GPA gonna have to keep you there. You see, so let's use, if that's what you see. But if you're gonna go everywhere and see the negative, that's all you're gonna be pulled to is the negative. So that is just different ways of transformation.
Wow. All right. And like we said, we're going to have you back, Chadwick James, to talk about this in depth. All right. So we're going to take a quick break for the news update. When we come back, we'll find out about Zonda Club of Nassau and the Ministry of Social Services coming together for this We Are a Family Run, Push, Walk. All the details when we get back in just a bit. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is not a golden rule. Take it and don't be no fool. Check this.
You'll never see a dog barking at a parked car. You'll never see him barking if the car ain't moving. You'll never see people talking about you if you ain't going nowhere. But when you're trying to excel yourself, they got your name everywhere. Because dog don't bark at Parker, no way. Come on. The only time they can start barking is when the car start moving. Huh. Hey, I say, dog don't bark at Parker, no way. Boy, she thinks she better than people. The only time he can start barking when the car start moving. That's true, but people do, you know. Huh. I know you're trying to figure out exactly what I mean. My friend, listen carefully. Let me explain.
This is Guardian Radio 9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner on this Tuesday morning. And we continue our discussion with the Zonda Club of Nassau and the Ministry of Social Services. We've got a big event coming up. And we've got Sonia Brown and Chadwick James. Sonia Brown is the president of the Zonda Club of Nassau, and Chadwick James is from the men's desk coordinator of the Department of Gender and Family Affairs in the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting. All right, having a great conversation so far. Sonia Brown, let's get into Zonda Club of Nassau. We had your sister organization, Zonda Club of New Providence, on a couple weeks ago. But remind folks about Zonda Club, what Zonda Club is all about.
Well, good morning, and thank you again for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with Chadwick James, as you said. So the Zonda Club of Nassau, we were formed about 42 years ago. Wow. Our goal are to build a better world for women and girls. We're part of the international community,
that we are responsible for the formation of two of one of the most impactful foundations in the country, the Bahamas AIDS Foundation and the PACE Foundation. And most persons know what the Bahamas AIDS Foundation is about, but the PACE Foundation is the program that deals with teenage mothers.
Yeah.
So those are our main mandates.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Great stuff that you've done for the community, for the country. All right, so this event, tell us about this. Is this new?
Yes, this is
Okay.
our first time doing this event. We wanted to do an event that is a fundraiser, so we're hoping this is our major fundraiser. And we also want to focus on the family. As you were talking with Mr. James, we're talking about some of the issues that the boys are facing. And I'm always happy when I'm joined in studio with one of the men who are standing shoulder to shoulder with us in the fight, because the issues that we have in our families, the issues that we have around violence against women, they can only be solved if we are working along with men. And Mr. James said, we have to start with the young boys. So this is important to us, and it joins and it aligns with everything that we're doing to improve the status of women, the situation for girls.
Let's talk about that, because it seems if you listen to the shows, a lot of people aren't on the same page with that, and a lot of people are pointing fingers and blaming each other for where we are. But you don't hear too much about everybody coming together and working on these issues.
Yeah, well, I mean, the secret to our success at Zonta has been collaboration. And we really believe that this is the way that we are going to have an impact. I think the main ingredient, as I mentioned before, is working more closely with men. The women's organizations tend to come together and work. But we have to engage the men. And we also have to look at our family. And so this, again, is the focus of our event. The family really is the foundation of our society. If our families are failing, our society is in trouble. And so we are organizing this event around the United Nations International Day of Families, which is May 15th. So that's celebrated every year. And when one of the goals the United Nations are looking at is looking at the way that climate change is impacting our family and also demographic change. When there are issues related to extreme weather events, we could use Dorian as an example. Women and girls are socially expected to shoulder the responsibility. If something is happening, you can't go to school because you got to take care of somebody. You can't go to work. And, and the same thing if, people are living older. So with the demographic changes, we're living older, but we're not older with good health. And so who's supposed to, instead of coming home and studying if you're in school, well, you have to go and take care of grandpa or grandma or whatever. Maybe you can't even go to school because you have the caring responsibility. And so as we look at tackling these things, perhaps if we can work together as a family to, number one, look at our mental health first, our physical health, and do it as a family, all right? Maybe we can improve the outcomes for everybody, because nobody wants to live longer and end up in a wheelchair or end up incapacitated. We all want to live longer, but in good health. It happens by being intentional, working together. I use myself as an example. I wanted to improve my health and remove meat from my diet. And as I started doing that, the fast food couldn't stop coming into the house. I was like, what's going on? Right. Y'all got to work with me.
Right.
And eventually, all of the little quirky things that I was eating, everybody started eating it in the house. And, eventually it took time. It took years, actually. And now everybody is eating healthier and cooking, And, so these are some of the areas we want people to focus on. How can you work together? So it could be your biological family, it could be your family at work, your family at church. So we want persons to come out to our event on Saturday, May 18th, 6 a.m., Montague Beach, and just have a good time and, work with your family for better health.
Excellent. Okay, so let's get the details in. How do you register? What do you need to do?
All right, so you can visit our Facebook page and get information, or you can contact me 357-4724, or you can email Zonta Club of Nassau at hotmail.com. But we have a Zonta Club of Nassau Facebook page where the information is available, and so you can just sign up, and if you sign up as you get a discounted rate of $25. And I'm very excited about all of the prizes that we have. We have a grand prize from the Atlantis Resort. So 4-day, 3-night stay.
What?
At Royal Towers, yes. So you got to come
But
out.
you have to win. You have to win in order to get this prize.
No, you come out, and we're going to have all sorts of fun and games.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'm going to try to see if I can make it for that.
Yes.
Let me come to New Providence.
Yes, come out. And so we're also giving out, there's a prize for therapy sessions for persons, prizes for dietitian services, prizes for outdoor fitness sessions, and, and some other fun prizes as well. Little treats and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities to win. So it's something that you really want to come out to. I also want to mention that we will have wellness sessions. So we have a therapist and a psychologist who will run some wellness sessions, short, probably about 10 minutes or so.
On Saturday?
On Saturday.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so for those who are unable to walk, we'll have things going on that they can participate in. We have a dietitian who will do a presentation as well, and we'll have somebody showing you how to do some gentle exercises. So we'll have these sessions going on during the walk and then after the walk, so that when the walkers and the runners come back, they can benefit from it as well.
Excellent.
Yes, and of course, in between the sessions, you could also speak to the experts one-on-one. We also have health screenings that will be available.
So you're going to be out there all day, is that what you're saying?
No. Yeah, no.
It's a lot of exciting things.
Yeah, it's a lot of exciting. I think we can get a lot done in a short space of time. The walk starts at 6 a.m., sorry. And so we're probably going to be out there till about 9:30 or whatever, but we'll get a lot packed in, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And if I get a chance, if it's okay for me to mention some of my partners who made this possible.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, so of course, we have the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, Department of Gender and Family Affairs, Graphite Engineering, the Securities Commission of the Bahamas, Sun Oil, Fidelity, J.S. Johnson, McDonald's, First Care Medical, FD Consultants, Tropical Exterminators, Private Trust Corporation, Braun, Bahamas at Sunrise, Atlantis, SuperValue, Azalea & Co., Alive, Dairy Queen, and Dr. Barry Russell. Yeah, so we've received a lot of support. We're very excited about the event. If you don't get a chance to register, just come. We'll be out there from at least 5 o'clock in the morning. You can just register on the morning.
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are not going to turn anyone away who wants to learn about how to take better care of themselves, take better care of themselves, take better care of their families, and who wants to win some exciting prizes.
Excellent. Give us that route. What is the route for the run, push, walk, whatever you want to do?
So we're going to start at Montague, and then we'll go on Shirley Street, and we'll turn at Armstrong Street, and then come back on East Bay and back to Montague.
Yeah. So
Okay.
It's about, what, a 5K?
Yeah, it's 5K. Yeah,
Mhm.
3 miles.
Yeah.
Easy stuff.
Easy. Yeah. All right, wonderful stuff. You're going to be taking part, Chadwick?
I plan to. I plan to be a part of it. That we have prayer meeting at the same time, so I probably will ask those in prayer if they would come with us and march.
There you go.
Walk and push and all of that. I just want to add to all of this. This is the family, and like the president said, if the family goes, then the whole community goes. And I just want to encourage most of the men who are, and you can hear my voice, that if you represent us, even Jesus needed affirmation. When Jesus was baptized, the voice from heaven from his father said, "This is my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased." And that's when he was about to start his whole walk of what he was about to do. So I want to encourage all of our men. And like the president said, a lot of girls have to take the responsibility when you have elderly parents. I want to encourage all of our men to come out and remind our women that women cannot take our jobs. Women are equal to the task. So let us stop arguing over women come to take over. Women were in charge a long time. We just ahead. So, we can feel free to let them be in charge because they're in charge. It is so bad. It's so bad, so much so that we say, go to your room. Go to you, girl, you go to your room. And then we say, when we want something, we tell the children, go to your mommy room and get stuff. So we know that the women in charge because we don't even have our own room. It's the mommy room. So, I want to encourage all of the men. I say that jokingly, but it's the truth, You can't take nothing out of the kitchen. Don't fool with your mommy pots. I mean, in that our house also, but they're in charge. So, men, I encourage all of you to come out and support our women, support the Zonta Club of Nassau, support them so much so that they'll know they have the men support. Men, we need to take our rightful position as to where we are. We need the men. Tomorrow is Family Day, International Day of the Family, and then on Thursday is the International Day of the Boy Child. And so, it's all of that stuff that we have to deal with, we have to work with. So let's encourage the president and let's show up. Let's be there. Let's bring our families. If you save a woman, you might save a child. But if you save a man, you save a family. So let's go ahead and get the men in place so that we'll be able to see the family come back in place.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Remind folks how to register one more time, Sonny Rowe.
Yeah, so go to the Zonta Club of Nassau Facebook page, or you can reach out to me on WhatsApp at 357-4724. You can email us at zontaclubofnassau@hotmail.com and get ready for the walk. Saturday, May 18th, Montague, 6 a.m.
Sounds like it's going to be a wonderful time. Thank you both so much for being here with us this morning. Sonia Brown with Zonta Club of Nassau and Chadwick James with the Department of Gender and Family Affairs. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk with you both soon about PACE and about just the situation we have in the country. So looking forward to that. All right, we're going to take a break and be back with more with Morning Blend Business after these messages. Stay with us.
Music, man. This is not a golden rule. Take it and don't be no fool. Check this. You'll never see a dog barking at a parked car. You'll never see him barking if the car ain't moving. You'll never see people talking about you if you're going nowhere. But when you're trying to excel yourself, they got your name everywhere. Because dog don't bark at car. No way. Come on. The only time
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
At Simplified Lending, we've unscrambled the loan process, making it fast and hassle-free. Personal, business, medical. You apply, we'll reply in as little as 24 hours. Call us today at Simplified Lending in the R&D Plaza on JFK Drive. Simplified Lending for simplified living.
Simplified Lending for simplified living.
Simplify living for simplified living.
You've heard of electric cars. Now it's time you drive one. Easy Car Sales welcomes you to experience the power and prestige of the latest electric vehicles. Plug in at home for a 65% discount off your gas bill and never get stuck at the pump again. Build your dreams of a better future with a better car, the BYD EV. Visit easy242.com to book your free test drive today. Save your money while driving in style, only at Easy Car Sales.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. A petroleum dealer says he does not expect the price of gasoline to go over $6.50, but he does not know how to predict the price of diesel before the obligatory summer fuel prices start to skyrocket. Vice President of the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association, Vasco Bastian, telling Guardian Business that he does not envision gasoline getting to $8 per gallon this summer, despite already being over $5.50 at all gas stations and trending to go to $7 by June. He says, quote, if gasoline were to go up to $8, everybody will be riding bicycles up and down. Well, gasoline has gone as high as $7.50 a few summers ago, and with the wars lingering in Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Palestine, it's uncertain how oil prices will hold if the fighting intensifies. Tomorrow, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, will release its monthly oil market report with its outlook for the coming period. In its monthly report, the global oil demand for the summer was expected to be strong due to anticipation of rising transportation fuel consumption and holiday driving. The cartel says it sees a robust oil demand outlook for the summer months, and analysts are expecting more or continued optimism in Tuesday's report. In the April report, OPEC left its oil demand growth forecast unchanged for this year and next. The expected global oil demand growth rate is 2.2 million barrels per day for this year, with growth of 1.8 million next year. The Small Business Development Center and the Ministry of Agriculture teaming up to grant 43 applicants over $1 million in grant funding for agriculture-related projects, with the majority of them being given to Family Island recipients. SBDC's Executive Director, Samantha Roll, says that out of the 43 applicants, just 12 of them came from New Providence and another 12 from Grand Bahama, a total of $1 million shared between the 43 recipients. Read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. Agriculture and Marine Resources Minister Jomo Campbell says that Attorney General Ryan Pinder is spearheading efforts to track down and find the developer of Blackbeard's Key, where 5 bottlenose dolphins. Campbell said at a press conference yesterday that the 5 dolphins, named Pigeon, Justice, Fiona, Diamond, and Harry, are all in good condition. Despite being slightly underweight, they were transported to Atlantis Resort's Dolphin Key Animal Care Facility. The distressed dolphins' plight came to the public's attention after it was found that 8 dolphins had died at Blackbeard's Key at Balmoral Island. The key is owned by Samir Andros, who was engulfed in bankruptcy proceedings in 2022. When asked if the ministry had a chance to contact Andros, Campbell said he had not done so and is leaving this up to the Attorney General to let the law take its course on issuing fines and any other punitive damages. And leading investment management and advisory firm CFAL explaining in its latest blog post that young Bahamians are facing the headwinds of rapidly increasing real estate and housing costs, uncertainty in the stock markets, and inflation as they seek to build wealth and retire younger. The blog, entitled Can You Afford to Retire in Your 30s, explains that in the 1980s in the Bahamas, many public servants could rely on their pension benefits as their retirement plan. Now, the country's underfunded Social Security program makes it hard for Bahamians to plan securely for retirement. It says that most government and private employee pension plans will not be sufficient to live off of in retirement, even if living simply, and that most persons supplement their income and investments currently. Read more about that in today's Guardian business section as well. Overseas, U.S. wholesale prices rose sharply last month, a sign that inflation pressures remain stubbornly high after 3 elevated readings in consumer prices to start the year. The U.S. Labor Department said that its producer price index, which tracks price changes before they reach consumers, climbed 0.5% from March to April after it dipped 0.1% the previous month. Measured year over year, producer prices rose by 2.2% in April, up from 1.8% in March, and the biggest increase in a year. A measure of underlying inflation, which excludes the volatile food and energy categories, also jumped 0.5% from March to April and rose 2.4% compared with a year earlier. Economists closely watch core prices because they provide a better signal of where inflation is headed than the overall figure. And more from the U.S., the Biden administration announcing plans to slap new tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, advanced batteries, solar cells, steel, aluminum, and medical equipment. An election year move that's likely to increase friction between the world's 2 largest economies. The tariffs come in the middle of a heated campaign between U.S. President Joe Biden and his Republican predecessor Donald Trump, in which both candidates are vying to show who's tougher on China. The tariffs are unlikely to have much of an inflationary impact because of how they're structured. Administration officials say they think the tariffs won't escalate tensions with China, yet they expect China will explore ways to respond to the new taxes on its products. It's uncertain what the long-term impacts on prices could be if the tariffs contribute to a wider trade dispute. And in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday, your market movers, APD Limited moving 165 shares, closing unchanged at 44.64. Bahamas First Holdings Limited moving 35,000, closing at 221 unchanged. Commonwealth Bank moving 5,000 unchanged at 525. Focol moving 1,595 unchanged at $5. Consolidated Water up 15 cents, closing at 567. Emir Incorporated down 15 cents, closing at 854. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,938.52, unchanged. That's your Market Watch. And that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Music, man. This is another golden rule. Take it and don't be no fool. Check this. You'll never see a dog barking at a parked car. You'll never see him barking if the car ain't moving. You'll never see.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner this morning. Our final few minutes here, Laverne. Just want to read these messages really quick before we get to what we want to talk about for the remainder of Morning Blend business. This texter is writing, the mother whose son is being pursued in his neighborhood after school seriously needs to have that matter addressed by the police station in the area. And where is the father in all of this? Well, I don't know if that was a relative who called in. But hey, had it been my son, those punks, would have been running from me unprovoked, period. Well, okay. Well, I hear you. Hey, that story in The Guardian is very disturbing. The Guardian business section about gas. Those are some scary numbers. $7, $8. People, we can casually just say those things like, like this is how we are living today in 2024.
This how we live in,
Oh,
right?
okay. Well, that's five.
What you want them to say?
Oh, $5.90, $5.91, $5.96. That's how much we're paying in Nassau. I'm sure it's higher in the Family Islands. That is hard. I know we've been higher, but that wasn't fun either. So casually, not expected to go over $6.50. What? Is it going over $6? That's too high. But that's terrifying.
Well, it won't go over $6.50, so I don't know what measure of comfort that's going to bring to you, but if you could find comfort in that, go ahead.
Right. Wow. Disturbing. All right, so here's what we want to talk about for this part of the show. So crime has been a big issue for the morning. We talked about it with these two teens over this silly feud. They ended up dead. And just the access to guns, just how easy it came, it seems, for everybody, just little kids, get a gun. And we know that is a frequent conversation on talk radio, where are these guns coming from, all of that. Well, this started a few weeks ago. We wanted to talk about it from then, when we had visiting Charge d'Affaires at the U.S. Embassy, when she was on the show a few weeks ago. We got some weird messages from Americans on our Twitter page, X. People sending messages to the U.S. Embassy about freeing somebody in Turks and Caicos. Like, what is this? We're talking about the Bahamas here, but they are the embassy for Nassau, the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos.
Right.
So they were sending those messages, didn't know what they were talking about, had to read up on it, and apparently, there are at the moment at least four Americans
being
in
held
jail in Turks and Caicos. And they're being
for breaking the law.
Breaking the law. They are in possession of ammunition. The Turks and Caicos is getting serious about gun violence there. And they're cracking down on guns and ammunition entering the country. And they're not budging on it. And if you are caught bringing in, it looks like it's a minimum of 12 years that you will get in jail. Now, these Americans, this all happened this year within the last few months. But the U.S. Embassy last year. So let's start from the beginning here. Travel advisory, travel alert, do not bring firearms or ammunition to the Turks and Caicos Islands. That was from the U.S. Embassy
And this is
in the Bahamas.
posted on their site.
From September 22nd, 2023. Last year. They warned.
The U.S. Embassy has been posting these warnings.
Warning people. Let me read what they said. Firearms, ammunition, and other weapons are not permitted in the Turks and Caicos Islands. TCI authorities strictly enforce all firearms-related laws. The penalty for traveling to the TCI with a firearm, ammunition, or other weapon is a minimum custodial sentence of 12 years. We wish to remind all travelers that declaring a weapon in your luggage with an airline carrier does not grant permission to bring the weapon into TCI and will result in your arrest. We strongly encourage you to carefully check your luggage for stray ammunition or forgotten weapons before departing for TCI. If you bring a firearm or ammunition into TCI, we will not be able to secure your release from custody. This is the U.S. Embassy speaking to Americans, gun-loving Americans. I don't know why I said that, because the Bahamians are probably even
Why you
more.
said that part?
More gun-loving.
Why did you add that in?
More gun-loving than them, it seems. You are subject to TCI laws and must follow local law enforcement procedures.
Read that again, Dwight.
You are subject to TCI, must follow local law enforcement procedures. Before traveling to TCI, please review the updated TCI travel.state.gov page to learn more about restrictions on traveling with firearms. If you are arrested or detained, ask police or prison officials to notify the U.S. Embassy immediately. That was September 2023, September 22nd, 2023. Right. So, apparently some people weren't listening to that. They went over the travel advisors about the Bahamas. Everyone and their ma across the whole universe will know about that one, but they didn't know about this because 4 Americans now find themselves facing 12-year sentences. So they've got a couple articles here from ABC News. Families claim Americans are unjustly detained in Turks and Caicos for possession of ammunition.
How are they unjustly detained if they are in breach of the law in Turks and Caicos? How's that unjust?
Well, listen to this. The families of 4 Americans charged in Turks and Caicos for carrying ammunition insisted that their loved ones were unjustly detained on the island awaiting legal proceedings. Last week, the government, this is from, what's the date on this? This is from May 3rd. Last week, the government of Turks and Caicos charged 4 American men for collectively carrying 33 rounds of ammunition. It identified the 4 men as Michael Lee Evans, Brian Hagerich, Tyler Scott Wenrich, and Ryan Tyler Watson. In a statement published on social media last week, the government said their islands, quote, have clear laws against the possession of firearms and or ammunition and strict penalties in order to serve and protect the community.
Right.
As of last week, Hagerich and Evans had both pled guilty to the charges. It is illegal to transport firearms or ammunition to or from any of the CARICOM countries, including Turks and Caicos, without a license, according to the United States Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, which warns travelers repeatedly on its site. But following a big bump in gun violence and weapons trafficking in Turks and Caicos, the government significantly tightened their gun laws in 2022. Violating the law could result in a minimum 12-year prison sentence, a minimum 12-year prison sentence, though the government said that that can be lowered in exceptional circumstances. According to a post by relatives on the fundraising site GoFundMe, the 4 men were on vacation on the island celebrating a friend's birthday, and when they tried to return home, security found ammunition unknowingly left in a duffel bag from a deer hunting trip, which went authorities when leaving the United States. Turks and Caicos said in its statement that it is the traveler's responsibility to ensure their baggage is free of weapons and ammunition, which is strictly forbidden without prior permission. The ATF of the U.S. also warns it is the responsibility of the traveler to research local laws. Now, the families called for help in paying for mounting legal fees and living expenses, and as of Friday had raised more than $220,000. What now? Authorities and the Post say the men have been released on bail, but the families allege that Hagerich has been unjustly detained in Turks for 81 days now. Others have spent weeks stuck on the island awaiting legal proceedings, separated from their children and families. On the Post, this is GoFundMe again, that they are facing a legal system that is unfamiliar, daunting, and expensive, that operates differently than the American justice system.
Okay.
Well, organizer of the fundraising or the funding campaign.
It's a different country.
Yeah, it is. An organizer of the funding campaign, Jessica Bird, who is Watson's older sister, said Hagerich, possession of 20 rounds of rifle ammunition, was set to go on trial on Friday. She said he was likely to be sentenced that same day or next week. This is a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure what came out of that. But there's another article here. Let me read this really quickly from CNN. Dad facing prison time for Turks and Caicos ammo charge, says law has unintended consequences. This is from May 8th as well. Brian Hagerich, a Pennsylvania father of 2, facing a minimum 12-year prison sentence in Turks and Caicos after airport security found ammunition in his luggage in February, says the island law meant to deter illegal firearm trafficking has had unintended consequences. The 39-year-old Hagerich appeared in court in Turks and Caicos Friday when a judge said he must stay on the island for another 3 weeks until his sentencing, at which point he will learn if he must serve the minimum 12-year sentence for carrying ammo in his bag in the airport, or if his case can be adjudicated. So Haggerich, who was coming home from a family vacation with his wife and kids when he was arrested in February, told America's Newsroom on Tuesday, quote, "It was found in my checked luggage after a random search, and my family was essentially just whisked away without even really having the chance to say goodbye or explain what was going on. So we were completely unaware of what was to follow. The TSA requires ammunition to be in a secured case in checked luggage, but the U.S. Embassy in Nassau currently has a travel alert that says if firearms, ammunition, including stray bullets, and other weapons are not permitted in the Turks and Caicos Islands, adding that TCI authorities strictly enforce all firearms and ammunition-related laws. The embassy states, well, we read that already, yeah. Okay, so Haggerich said, quote, "It's a very strict law. They're trying to combat violence, gun trafficking, etc., which I have the utmost respect for. But when you have a law that takes essentially a one-size-fits-all approach, there are unintended consequences. We're not a threat to the island. We're not a threat to the people. We're good, loving human beings that simply made a mistake." As we told you, 3 other Americans are awaiting their own sentencing for the same issue. One of those, 31-year-old Tyler Wenrich, a father of a 1-year-old son from Virginia, was allowed to go home last week after posting bail, according to Fox News Digital. 40-year-old Ryan Watson of Oklahoma, father of 2, who was most recently arrested for unknowingly having ammo in his bag on April 12th, remains on the island. Both men previously told Fox News Digital from prior hunting trips. And 72-year-old Michael Lee Evans pleaded guilty to having ammunition in his bag on April 24th. According to the local news outlet, the Turks and Caicos Sun, his sentencing hearing is scheduled for June 18th. An additional 4, so this is even more, so it's 8 in total. So the 4, that was a different story. An additional 4 Americans who were detained over the firearm ammo law since it was enacted last year have also had their cases adjudicated and instead were ordered to pay fines. One American received an 8-month prison sentence. One of those detainees, well, Haggerich again, who's been detained since February, said, quote, "I'm a human. I made a very honest mistake. I had no intention. I had no knowledge that ammunition was in my checked luggage." Okay, let's get your reaction to that, folks. Let's talk about it. I know a lot of people have been calling for very strict consequences for people who bring in ammunition and guns and who are in possession of them. Somebody calls infrequently to say for every bullet that you have, you should get a year in prison. Practically life for guns. Let's talk about it. Do we need to get like Turks and Caicos? Do we need to get that strict, or will we have a whole lot of unintended consequences? Want to hear from you on it. Laverne, want to hear from you before we get to these calls. But you can call us 323-6232. 325-454-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. They don't want to get like the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands. They don't want to get like the rest of some other parts of the Caribbean, right? And they're heading in that direction, or they were. And they're trying to head it off. What say you? What do you think, Laverne?
Yeah, they're doing all that they can to try and prevent it from escalating into what's happening in some of the Caribbean islands, what's happening here in the Bahamas. And so that is their law, it's their law. I don't know if we'll ever get as strict because of the things like this, these unintended, quoting the gentleman, these unintended consequences, right? And I don't have confidence that the law will be applied in the same way to everyone. I think that, and that's probably a very jaded view, but it's not unfounded, that if we enact laws like that, we will find that we as a people, we will really face the letter of the law. But those who, especially from the north, I'm sure we'll find a way to make it a little bit easier for them. You know what I mean?
Okay. Wow. I
Yeah.
sadly get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I know that wouldn't, the way the case is, and because I was following it, right? I've been reading it and seeing all of the comments, and there are people who've been now saying boycott Turks and Caicos, and so I've been following the stories as they've been happening. And I just thought to myself, I said, you know what? This would never happen the way that it happened in Turks. It would never happen in the Bahamas like that.
Well, not for visitors. Not for
Not for the visitors.
For
No,
the
no.
Bahamian,
No
for
way.
most Bahamians, they'd be
we'd be
buried
under the
buried under
jail.
the jail. Right.
We'd be under the jail. They wouldn't even have been able to get bail, whatever. But, for the visitors, slap on the wrist, maybe a $3,000 fine if that.
Oh, boy.
And then allowed to go on their merry way.
That's disturbing.
So
are we serious?
It's
Are we
extremely
serious when we
disturbing.
talk about trying to put an end to this massive importation of illegal firearms? Let's take these calls before you answer that. Good
we
morning.
are selectively serious.
Wow. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Laverne.
Good
Dwight,
morning.
there's a saying, to be forewarned is to be what?
Forearmed, I think.
Forearmed.
Mhm,
Okay,
although, I
they
mean-
were
No
warned.
pun intended.
Right.
They were warned. Okay, I understand that there's a sign going into, I think, Singapore or Malaysia, one of those countries, that says if you are found, just the same type of warning, bringing in drugs into this country, you will be executed. Now, do you think those people are serious about their laws? Do you think the people who are going into Singapore and see those laws, you think those people in Singapore mean what they say, what they mean, and mean what they say? Of course they do. But they just think that we are just counts, because we need them apparently more than, they need us. They can just run over us. Because when them U.S. people grab you, they take you, they throw you, they do whatever they want to do with you. Okay? And so the laws are the laws. And we've been calling for stricter penalties. I have been calling for stricter penalties for the possession of illegal firearms in this country, okay, for years. And while Rome is burning, Nero is out there just fiddling. Two young men, 15 and 18, execute firearms. And yet this Minister of National Security, whose responsibility is to protect the citizen, is doing nothing.
Wow.
Is proposing no kind of laws. This gang foolishness that they did a couple of weeks ago, that's total madness. Okay? He himself says how you going to prove anybody is in a gang and whatnot. And Dwight, this country is going to the dogs, man. Everybody, a 15-year-old, a 13-year-old, everybody can get up and find a gun, okay? And yet the government refuses to act on this. Why, Dwight? Why, Laverne? Why won't they act? Why won't they act, Mr. National Security Minister? Why won't you put 100 years? Put something, man, to make the people feel like you are doing something. Right now, all Wayne Monroe doing is getting fat.
Oh,
Thank
dear.
you.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you can just
Lord.
single him out there. It's a collective cabinet. It's the Attorney General. It's a lot of people need to
Right.
be involved in this. If we're going to do that, but again, unintended consequences will be fined. We got a whole lot of children in jail forever, right? Because it looks like they know where the stuff is. Is that what needs to happen? Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight and Laverne, good morning to both of you.
Hi.
I really loved the passion of the previous caller. The previous caller is spot on. Assuring the rest of the world, including their residents, that they plan to arrest this vexing matter that they have on their island. And, I think the message really, from what I'm gathering from this, is it sends two messages out. One, it sends one out to the international communities, especially those who believe that they can operate with impunity, that justice is going to prevail on that island. And then secondly, it also sends a message to its residents who may be involved in, I want to be very careful using the word trafficking, but being involved in firearms and ammunition and how it's imported on the island and who's supplying it and all this stuff. It also sends a very clear, definitive message. So let's bring that home to here, to the Bahamas. It puts a black eye on our government then, because the question is, what is our government truly doing as it relates, seriously relating to solving this vexing matter that we have here in this country? Yeah, the borders are porous, as so many persons would say, but the spot checks and the careful stuff that comes in, importation stuff on these, especially these vessels that dock in our ports. I was happy to hear about the seizure of the marijuana on this boat by someone apparently given information to go and check. But the thing still comes down to, it's apparent that weapons and firearms have permeated our environment so much, and people are still saying they don't know where these weapons are coming from.
Yeah.
But, we got to do something, Dwight.
All right, so
because
you
the
think...
innocent persons in closing, there are many innocent persons who are being slaughtered with these things, and, you'll hear the outcry now, and then all of a sudden it goes quiet again. Yeah. So we need to get to the bottom of this.
So you like that, 12 years? You think 12 years is good, or?
12 years it gives a very definitive message. Mm-hmm. Mind you, notice what it says, the minimum of 12 years.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Let's read these as we wrap up the show, Laverne. These text messages, this person says here, good morning, can we take a page out of TCI's book regarding guns and ammunition? Boy, government needs to act now on gun laws. All we do is talk in this country. That's one person there. Another one here. If they were in Singapore, they would have gotten much worse. Talking about those Americans. This person says here, if you break the law, explain how it's unjust. When traveling, you're responsible for your bag and contents. Another person says, former Senator Jamal Moss calling for strict measures on illegal guns and bullets, but he was ignored. I thought it was really good. Especially for a young man. Another one here, a question and comment. I can see wanting to have a gun on the boat to protect yourself from the high seas and pirates. Is it legal as long as the gun stays on the boat? How about letting them serve 6 months? The Caribbean should work as a region. Anyone found bringing guns into any Caribbean island should be banned from entry or fishing in waters of every Caribbean island. Okay. Yeah. This person says here, if, oh boy, what is this now? Oh my goodness. What is this? What is this?
We're out of time. Don't read it.
Right. All right. Barely, boy. Okay, yes, we'll leave that there. But interesting there. We'll keep you posted on where this goes for Turks and Caicos. But just wanted you to see what's happening over there and the country that says they are serious about dealing with guns. Hey, Laverne, thank you so much for being here today.
Always a pleasure.
And we might see you again on Thursday. But we wish Duquesa gets better soon. We want to hopefully we'll talk with her again soon. But I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
Kill the man, all that remain is women, which is then I'm going to make